What's up, everybody?
Hey, y'all. Welcome to the Tug of War.
We have the cameras plugged in, and
That's
we
right.
have the memory boxes, as Whitney calls them, hooked into the computer screens.
I don't know what they're called.
We've got some lights and some cords.
That's right.
We're ready to go.
Yes, let's do it.
You know, some of the cameras that we shoot the Tug of War on, we also use.
Yeah. Anytime we need other content.
Yeah.
And it's close to Easter time, and so we're recording all kind of content, getting all kind of things ready to go.
Content City.
You, my friend, are being advertised the most Easter content I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay.
It is bananas. I would like someone to send us a message and let us understand. I just scrolled for 10 minutes on Facebook and did not get one ad about Easter. And
how
you,
many?
25.
25 ads.
Not kidding.
Every
I told him,
every four things on Facebook is an ad to another church.
if I wasn't a regular, if I didn't love Jesus and I was just a regular person,
Well, see,
I would be like, I'm getting off this Facebook. That's too many ads.
I assumed that was what was happening to everybody on Easter. So what I need to know from the Tug team is, are you getting a bunch of church advertisements at Easter, or is it just me? Is it just because my algorithm is so much holier than Whitney's?
I get. I'm like,
I am getting
that's
church
what
content.
I was at first, like, and then I'm like, wait a minute, and now I'm insecure. Why am I being advertised trips to Chicago and New York more than Jesus?
Do you want to know what? But I don't know how it works. How do they know what to start selling you? Because do you know what they're starting to advertise to me now all the time?
What?
Cologne. But I don't wear cologne. I haven't searched cologne, and it's something cherry. Some cherry cologne.
Oh,
It's like real. It's supposed to. I don't know.
Tom Ford one?
Yes.
Really?
I'm telling you, I've seen. I don't know how many ads for that cologne. I don't even know who it is.
Why?
I don't know. So my algorithm is stuff I don't understand, and then I do understand why I'm getting sent church stuff.
It's very confusing.
Because I'm always on YouTube.
How does it work?
Like watching, learning.
Yeah, somebody
things.
tell us who's smarter than us, because I just want to understand. We did advertise a post for Easter, and we did it in the 30-mile circumference of our church. So then I'm like, is it just when your phone is within 30 miles of the church, or is it if your account and your address for your account is within 30? Like, what does that even mean? I don't know.
As you can tell, we don't know what the junk's going on around here. We're just doing our best.
Basically how it's been for the last 8 years.
We're
We don't
just
know
doing
what
our
the junk
best
we're doing.
to make a church.
We're just trying to make a church. That's all we say. Hey, it's hard.
So let us know, are you getting ads, or do you ever see more churches sponsored ads?
Yeah.
Is it worth doing? We're trying to figure it out.
Well, and also, do you see 2? Do you see 20? I'm not joking. We are pastors, so sometimes fish stories, people think that we exaggerate. That was at least 20. That is the most ads I've ever seen.
Every church that has a sponsorship in the DFW area,
That's crazy.
I see them.
It was like every 3.
I'll tell you what we should boost.
What?
What we should boost and post is the picture they put of me on social media this week from a sermon. Julia.
Who, Julia?
Here's the photo, or did you already do the sound effect?
I already did it.
That's the photo.
Yeah.
That we put up.
Well, in their defense,
people don't want to come to more church. They think I'm on drugs.
No, in their defense, 1, it's not because they don't love you. 2, you literally are saying in that, if you're going to take my picture, just make sure it doesn't look like this. And then they
let's cut that and make that Whitney's picture.
But what's great is that they got it. We have people who take pictures all during the week. And
Julia said to me, she said, Pastor, we actually had a great picture of you, but I chose this one instead. It's what we put up.
It was the best. It's the best, and it shows your personality, which I like.
It made me laugh.
Super fun. Okay, so
Easter's around the corner.
Easter's coming up.
We are just a couple days away.
That's right. Yeah, and for us, in our world, in our context, we sometimes say that Easter is like our Jesus Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That I know you hate it. It sounds gross, but
I think next year we got to come up with some different vernacular.
You don't like it?
No, I don't know why. It's just I'm like.
But it is a big deal for us as a church.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we say it is because for football people, their big event is the biggest event of their whole year is the Super Bowl, and for us, it really is true that the biggest event of our whole year is Easter. However, what we've learned, what we say all the time, is that there's no such thing as just another Sunday. And so the reason I was bringing all this up is what I wanted to say to you is I'm super proud of us this year.
Okay.
That in our Super Bowl, in our biggest Sunday of the year, that we have, that the energy here, the vibe, the way it's feeling is so fun and not stressful.
No, that's the hope. I think that for so many years when a big event would come around, I got real tense.
Yeah.
To like do it right and pull it off and make everything happen. And now I'm just like, you know what? The church is not going to grow just because of Easter.
Yeah, correct.
Like there's going to be a buttload of people that show up. They're here for one Sunday, and then they don't come back the next week. And then the week after Easter is historically one of the lowest attended Sundays of the year. And so like I've just taken the stress off of performing.
Yeah. And I think
we're going to do our best.
In lieu of what we've been talking about on the Tug of War the last few weeks, the more equals less. I just felt like it's worth celebrating that like in one of our biggest like weekends of the year, the energy around the team and then the energy just in the place is just so peaceful and so anticipatory and excited rather than stressed and anxious and overwhelmed. And so hey, it's pretty cool.
A lot of the people on the Tug team that listen are pastors or people that work in churches. And so guys, relax.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, don't put the weight of the world on your shoulders. Guess who's not the savior? You. Jesus already did the heavy lifting. Jesus was already crucified. Jesus already took the keys to death, hell, and the grave and rose again. He already did the hard work. Yeah. We just have a couple simple things to do.
I was going to say, our team has done a great job. They've planned ahead. They're over-prepared. They're ready. It's not like, sometimes stress is brought on by you being not prepared and having to rush in the last week.
Yeah.
And so, like, is part of why that's possible is because our team's done a great job and we've got things ready way ahead. So that's good.
True.
Yeah.
Did you have any Easter traditions growing up?
Oh, yeah, bro. My mom did the basket. So I grew up in a pastor's home, which means that for me, Easter was a big deal. That weekend was busy. Most of my life, my dad was a worship pastor. So the church that I grew up in, we historically did an Easter cantata, which is like a concert
play.
Of Easter play.
Concert play.
Yeah, concert play. And so
because not only is she Mary Magdalene, she also has a great voice.
For sure.
Not only is he Peter, but Peter can sing.
For sure. And so...
and Jesus is the most handsome man in the church.
Always, with the longest hair. Healthiest Pantene commercial hair.
Yeah, he had to start growing that mop out a year and a half ago.
And so, for my family...
Our Jesus had a six-pack.
Really?
At our church.
They took his shirt off?
Oh, yeah. We were whipping him and stuff.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jesus, he had a beard and a square jaw and a six-pack.
Okay, all right.
All them ladies was like, what's up, Jesus?
So historically for my family, like Easter was a busy weekend. And so my mom always did a great job, though, of like giving us the time. So the first tradition was we always got a new dress, new pair of shoes, and sometimes a new purse. Like, not once I got older and purses were like expensive, but like when I was younger, like a little bag or a little basket or whatever. And then we got an Easter basket. Then every year after church, we would go to my grandmother's house, have the full Easter egg hunt. Like my grandpa would put the $5 bills, the $10 bills, and then the coins. And like, it was like a hunt to see who could get the most cash or whatever. And then we had like the big Easter dinner. We had brisket always. I don't know why. That's what my grandma we had. Yeah. And then I don't know what's like a traditional. I was thinking about that this week. What's the traditional Easter meat? Like turkey is Thanksgiving. What is
rabbit?
Easter?
Hello.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
That's what it should be.
That's what it could be. But what about you? What were your traditions?
I got an Easter basket, so I'm only child.
Yeah.
Right. And so that meant like all attention went my direction. And so I would get an Easter basket that I'm talking was like a 24-incher. Like this is a serious, deep Easter basket. And it would have a stuffed animal in it.
Yeah.
And like multiple chocolate bunnies. And I'm not talking the hollow chocolate bunnies.
Okay.
I'm talking the solid, pounding a nail with these chocolate bunnies. Yeah. And then the Cadbury eggs and some jelly beans, all that junk. And there'd be some Hot Wheel cars and stuff in there. But yeah, we would go to church. I don't really remember getting like new Easter outfits, but I'm sure that I did.
I imagine.
I had an era of like older elementary school into junior high where I was wearing vests.
Yeah.
Vests.
Oh, I know. I've seen pictures. Yeah.
And I grew up in Flint, Michigan, and my mom would take me into downtown Flint where all the brothers shopped.
Oh, okay.
And so I would pick out my church clothes at the brothers apparel stores.
Yes.
And I was looking good, dude.
Yeah.
They were like straight gold, were like silvery or like bright green with some swirls in
Okay,
it. With a
okay.
matching tie. Dude, I was looking like a little
bow
pimp.
tie or straight tie.
Bolo tie. I was
Everything.
All
everything.
the ties were an option, and so
It's really funny.
So yeah, I'm sure I was dressing crazy. And then we would do family meals, and we would have the Easter egg hunt with my cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was super fun.
Yeah, Easter's always been a fun and enjoyable for me holiday, but also because since I was a little kid, understanding the celebration of the day that Jesus is risen, but then my family, what I'm glad about, still made it like a fun family time too. It was both, you know, and I feel like we've carried that tradition into our family. I know you've carried that into yours, and man, it's fun.
Yeah. And so this year we're trying something new at More Church.
I'm excited about it.
We are trying to establish a tradition, which is what we love to do. It's what we do at Christmas with the cookie decorating.
Yeah.
This is like a family tradition that we do that I'm now seeing other churches do.
You have?
Yep. And other churches start
When they advertise to you?
They advertise to me that they come up with a great idea.
They
to do
came up
cookie
with a new
decorating.
idea.
And
That's
so
really
this
funny.
year, after service, kids and parents are going to be able to come in and be able to stuff their own Easter baskets. So every kid gets an empty basket. They get to put in the hay and the eggs and the candy and some pencils. And what else do we get? We got all
Slap bracelets.
all kind of stuff. And so kids
all
get
the
to
things
stuff
that will
their
get them in
own-
trouble at school if they take them on Monday.
And so I'm super excited. It's our first year to do it.
Yeah.
So it'll be in its infant stage.
Right.
But it will continue to grow.
I remember the first year we did the cookies and like all the hopes we had for it, and like how it's just grown into how this past year was just beautiful
and smooth
and
Right.
traditional. Like the tradition was there.
Yeah.
And like, so just like easy and so like excited because our people are like, this is what we do. And so we've all tried to like explain it and hype it up a little bit, but because it's not yet happened, the excitement is not fully realized.
Right, because I have in my head what I want it to be, and then we have our budget of what we can actually make it this year.
Times however many kids are actually going to show up.
And then you're trying to explain what it is, and so people are like, we're going to make Easter baskets? I've had 3 people ask me, so we're like weaving Easter baskets? And I'm like,
okay. No.
Rachel asked me. It's like, no, we're not weaving what? It's the lamest thing I ever heard in my whole life. You know?
No, yeah. And so until we get to like have the moment of it, it's harder to articulate, but man, it's going to be so fun. And then we'll have the pictures. Pictures worth 1,000 words.
Photo booth.
Once we can explain it all. No, but I mean, even the pictures of the basket making, once we can have them, then people will be excited. And next year,
when we did cookies, we had a lady dress up like Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
We're having a person dress up like what this year? Because I saw a costume.
Little Bo Peep.
Is that
Mother Goose? I don't really know.
Oh, Mother Goose vibes?
Yeah.
Because I saw like a dress and a weird bonnet that someone would wear while like milking a cow.
Here's what happened. What happened was for a whole lot of years of our church, we had a creepy bunny.
No, we're not. Oh, okay.
Like Easter bunny guy. What?
No, just keep offending me.
You're
Go ahead.
so mad right now.
I'm a little
You're mad at me. Why? We had a bunny. One bunny was good. One bunny was creepy. I don't remember which. I don't remember if it was the old one was creepier or the new one is creepier.
No, we had it. Okay, here's the story on the bunny. This is what we're talking about?
I get.
Here's the story on the bunny. My aunt in Michigan.
I'm sorry.
Who died. No, she didn't die. She didn't die. She didn't die. She didn't die.
Oh, my
She had
bad.
a Hallmark.
Yeah, she owns
florist.
a store. Yeah.
And so she owned this professional
I do not know
Easter
this
bunny
story.
costume. And so I, like at 14 years old, started wearing this Easter bunny costume for my aunt to do photos at her store. Well, she closed the store and I said, I want the Easter bunny
I
costume.
now have to retract all of my sentences.
So she mailed
not
me
know
the
this.
Easter bunny costume. And for years, like back at Aristide,
Yeah, I know.
that costume was the free, it's still in my attic. I still have it in my house.
Yeah.
Was the Easter bunny costume. And then it we lost the head or something.
Something happened.
So then we bought another Easter bunny costume, but this one was like,
Scary.
no. This one was Studious Bunny. Remember it had glasses?
Oh, I forgot about that
and
one.
it was gray.
Oh, yeah.
And it looked like a Easter bunny librarian.
Yes.
And so we used that one for 1 or 2 years.
Yes.
And then that one went away.
That was like the animal doll houses they used to sell. That's what that one made me think
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Then we bought another one that was the scary
That's
one.
the scary one that I keep thinking about.
And then now we have just gotten rid of. Now we've just kind of.
There's still an Easter bunny head floating around the church.
I don't know which one that is.
But to me, it was always like, I don't know. I like Santa in my family photo, but I don't want this random Easter man.
Well, the other thing, for so many years when we'd have the Easter bunny, what we would inevitably just end up doing is throwing a teenage boy in the costume.
Yeah, whatever random awkward teenage boy we can find.
Who would smell bad by the end of the day. And it was just like, nobody wants this. Then we started putting more church T-shirts on the Easter bunny.
Correct.
But then like the Easter bunny doesn't have any pants on.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was weird. Because it's a rabbit. Should it wear pants? It's like Goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy wears clothes, but Pluto wears no clothes.
Yeah, it's very weird. But so what happened was, it's like we bought, what we actually did was we bought a costume for a character rather than getting a character for a costume, because
I don't know what that means.
Mrs. Claus was insanely wonderful. She was so great. Her personality, her energy. And so she created a character in the room. Therefore, she is going to be a similar person that is going to look like Mrs. Claus, who is going to be the person for this event. Is Candace, our girl Candace, is the same.
She doesn't look like Mrs. Claus.
No, she was Mrs. Claus.
Oh.
I was trying to not break the illusion of the fact that Candace is Mrs. Claus, and also...
Oh, in case any 8-year-olds are watching the tug of war.
Yes. And so she is going to be whatever, Mrs. Easter? I don't know.
Mrs. Easter. Well, while they're explaining it to me about what we were going to do, I was confused because, like, if you Google women's costume Little Bo Peep,
you think it's slutty.
This is not what we're going to have
that's not
somebody
what we're
wearing.
Having. So I think Mother Goose is probably a better way to say it.
We did.
Oh, God. What story are you about to tell?
Years ago, we had this lady that came to our church that every Halloween she would dress up like a sexy cat.
Oh, yeah.
And she went down for prayer partners one time. Dude, it was the most inappropriate thing you ever saw.
Yeah.
Not to be a prayer partner, to receive prayer.
Yeah.
And you could see the ears in the live stream. It was bad.
So we're not doing that. What we're doing instead is, what did I say? Mother Goose.
Mother Goose.
Mother Goose. And Candace is just the best character. So really, we bought the costume for her because she's so good at like talking to the kids and like encouraging them to like fill your basket. She'll be able to fill their basket. Oh, did you get this egg? Oh, did you get? She's just a great character, even though she doesn't really have a name. So if anyone has a great name for Mrs.
Easter Mama.
Little Bo Peep. Easter Mama.
Can't be that. That's
whatever.
not good.
I don't know what it is. That is what her name will be, and she's just there. And we may still have an Easter bunny walking around, and then we have real bunnies. I think that's the other thing, because we have real bunnies. I'm like, we don't need a pretend bunny. But I did not also realize the love that you had for the Easter bunny costume.
Yeah, whatever. I'm over it now.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm over it because I agree. Now that I'm a dad, I don't care to have a random Easter bunny costume in my family photo.
Yeah, it's kind of
But is it fun to be walking around the lobby? Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had, we rented one year a costume of a chick. It was like half
cute.
in the egg.
Yeah, that was
So it was
cute.
an egg, bottom and a top.
Yeah.
And then we've had a couple other, I don't remember what they all were.
Yeah,
We rented
we've done
Easter
a few
costumes.
different things.
And
So
those are
we
fun.
do lots of costumes here. So
Yeah, I'm down with holding a bunny. So now this year we're going to have a station to.
the first year that we had our church.
Okay, we can tell the story. Have we already told the story on the tug of war?
No.
Okay.
How have we ever even talked?
I don't know. We've already talked for 20 minutes about God knows what, but it's a good, but this is a funny story.
Okay, so the very first year of our church existence, my friend calls me and says, "Hey, I've got 2 bunnies,
I wanted to,
but I don't yet have a garage to store them in."
I'm not sure it was the first. Was it the first year?
Yeah.
So
You
I had
didn't
a
have
vision.
a house, that's why.
I had a vision, and the vision was that people could take family photos while holding a real bunny.
Right. This is a beautiful vision.
And I thought I can just go down to
JCPenney's.
I thought I could
all
just
of
go
these
to
places do it.
Yeah, I can just go to PetSmart.
Right.
And buy a bunny for $9.
Yeah, you would think you can buy chicks. Oh, we should have done chicks back then. That would have been better.
But do you know what you can't do 2 days before Easter?
Buy a bunny?
Buy a bunny anywhere. And so I scour the internet in 2010 on Craigslist, and I find somebody selling rabbits. Rabbits. Those are grown-up bunnies.
Maybe rabid rabbits.
in like Maypearl, Texas. Yes. So I drive to this lady's house, and it's a trailer park. Or it's not a trailer park. It's a trailer on land.
Right.
And behind the trailer, there is a compound of cages and tarps set up where she's growing these rabbits
Poor
for
bunnies.
meat.
Oh.
These are meat animals,
These
not
are for rabbit stew.
yeah, these are not pets.
No.
And so I explained to this lady what I'm doing, and she's like, well, she's smoking while she's giving me these rabbits. She's like, I don't care what you do with them.
Yeah.
Like, most people kill them that afternoon. I was like, okay. Julia's face. And so I buy 2, right?
Yeah.
So I buy 2 rabbits, and these things are huge.
Humongous.
These are not cute little bunnies.
Big, humongous.
These are 28-pound
Yes.
meat Labradors.
Yes. And so you called me and you're like, hey, I need you to do me a favor. Because you were staying in the condo. You didn't have a garage. Or I don't even think you were in the condo yet.
I don't know. Rachel and I didn't have anywhere to keep
You didn't
these
have anywhere to
rabbits.
keep them. So you were like, can they stay in your garage? And I'm like, sure. And you know me. I said, sure. I didn't even ask Aaron. I'm just like, yeah, of course.
So the good thing with these rabbits is that they only had lived in this cage. So
Right.
they couldn't walk.
Yes, they could.
No, but they could. When I got them, they wouldn't move.
They
I don't know if
just
this lady.
sat there.
I don't know if this lady had them drugged or what.
Oh, maybe.
But they wouldn't hop. They just kind of sat down and were blobs of rabbits. So I'm like, these are going to be perfect for photos because they're not going to move anywhere.
So you bring them to my house.
But I don't have a cage.
No. So he pulls up and shows up with a Sports Authority shopping cart.
that I
Where'd you get that?
That I borrowed.
We don't know.
From Sports Authority because I'm like I went and looked at how expensive rabbit cages were.
They're crazy expensive.
But all a rabbit cages, think about it. All a rabbit cage is a metal frame thing with holes in it.
Yeah.
What's a shopping cart? A rabbit cage with wheels.
Just no lid.
No
So
lid.
then you brought
Big piece of
plyboard,
plywood, yeah.
and he said, just put this over it. It'll be fine.
So
we
we-
we put it in our garage, and like an hour or so, because we're trying to be nice, like climate control for these poor bunnies that I did not know were actually food.
And they had red eyes.
Yeah, they were albino.
Yeah, they're scary.
They had to be albino bunnies because they were white and then red eyes. Anyway, and these jokers start peeing all over our garage.
They're crapping all over the
And
place.
it's like
and Whitney's selling perfume at the time.
Orange pee. It's like so gross. I'm like, what? And Aaron is like, get those things out of our garage. So we go. And we, yeah, exactly. That's a good thing we love the Lord. So we put them on our back porch because I'm like, it's fine.
But
Back
thankfully,
porch.
it's a shopping cart with wheels. They just wheels
we just
around
wheeled
the
the
back.
back porch. And so we leave it there. And then like a couple hours later, McKinley's like,
Now, how old's McKinley?
5, 6. McKinley's like, I'm gonna check on the bunny. Like we never had an animal or
no
a
pets.
dog, no pet, whatever. So this is exciting at our house. So yeah, she had to be 5. Yeah. And so she comes running in and she's like, Mom, the bunnies are gone. They're gone. And I'm like, they're gone? How are they gone? And we go, and the plywood is on the ground and they're gone.
They hopped out. They were muscle bunnies. We didn't know it.
And we're like, what? And so I also still don't figure this out yet because somehow they get in the front yard.
They dug under your fence.
They dug under, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't remember because we had them in the backyard where we had a big privacy fence. So I'm like, oh, they're going to be safe. No, we find them in the front of our house. Yeah, hopping down the road, down the street to our neighbors. And so again, giant bunnies.
Yeah.
And I'm allergic to every animal in America. And so like, I'm not trying to pick them up. So I'm like, Aaron, get this one. Easton, grab that one. And we're like trying to carry them back. We finally get them in the shopping cart. And I think Aaron put a big rock on top of it.
So they couldn't escape.
Thankfully, you did wait until 2 days before Easter.
Yes.
So we only had to keep them 2 nights.
So then we bring these rabbits to church and we let people hold them and take family photos with these giant mega bunnies.
Were they vaccinated? No.
Might they
Did
have
they have
bitten you?
rabies? We don't know.
Listen, we're just pulling church off sometimes. And so then after service,
Oh my gosh.
my only thought is, what am I going to do with these rabbits?
Right.
And so Rachel found some Hispanic first-time guests
First time guests? Oh, awesome.
that we didn't even know, that Rachel asked if they wanted to keep them, and they said yes. So they waited until we were done, and then this lady,
They made stew out of him.
Rachel, she's like, that lady's going to kill those rabbits in the next hour. So this family took the rabbits home. We blessed your family. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
We
You're
just fed you
welcome.
dinner.
So now what we do is
Now-
that we rent a
Petting.
petting zoo from
petting.
an actual farm that does it for a living. And they show up and they do it all and they help the kids hold the bunnies. So now, don't worry. This year, they're super safe.
But if the petting zoo people
apart.
fall apart, I got a plug in Maypearl,
we got
Texas.
a plan and a shopping cart.
And if you might need some meth, they probably got that out back too, because that place was looking sketchy.
That is crazy. Yep. So that happened.
Okay, here's the question.
What is the question?
What do we do all that for? What do we... Right now, we got a Jeep in the lobby.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even talk about the Peep Jeep.
No, because I'm grieving.
Yeah. We have
Should
a
we even
Jeep.
talk about that? I don't even know if we should talk about it.
Why? Who's going to listen to that?
Because it's just drama.
What's it going to do? We have a Peep Jeep that we are supposed to put in a parade that we put in last year's parade.
I have had a vision to buy a Jeep. Here's a picture of the Peep Jeep. I've had a vision to get this Jeep, make it the Peep Jeep, drive it around, hand out peeps, invite people to Easter, put it in the parade, and we were in the parade last year. And you know what we did? We signed up to be in the parade this year. You know when? Right when they opened the registration.
Yeah.
And you know what we did? We got a phone call.
Said we were not allowed. I don't know why. They said that we didn't enter as soon as everyone else, but I find that very hard to believe because we entered early. So we don't know if it's politics or Jesus or what. It rained that day, so I guess technically at least we weren't. But my biggest fear is that you're a little bit mad at me that you only got to be in it 1 year.
Why would I be mad at you?
Because you had the vision for a while.
Yeah.
And I kept being like, no, not yet. No, not yet.
Yeah, Winnie's a hater. Oh, yeah, Winnie's a hater for
I'm
sure.
not a hater. I'm just a budgetary restrictive person.
Gotta have some faith. Get me a Peep Jeep.
Somebody has to be every now and then.
That's true. So we got it this year. Parade fail.
Yeah.
And you know what? It rained on them. You know
It
why?
literally rained on their parade.
They lost their favor.
I think
if we would have
so.
been in the parade, it wouldn't have rained till 3 o'clock.
Right. At least because the year before it was supposed to rain.
You think I'm playing?
No, I don't
I'm
think
not
you're playing.
The Lord is
The
on my
Lord.
side. So anyways, we weren't
Anyway.
in the parade. We're going to be next year. And if not, we're just going to bust it. I'm going to buy a bigger truck. I'm going to run over some barricades and we're going to be in the parade
Is that
next
what
year.
you're
I'm
gonna
going to
do?
buy a tank. We're going to have the Peep
Local
tank.
pastor arrested for breaking into a parade.
So am I bent out of shape? Yes.
Okay, so
but it's okay.
we have all these reasons or all these things, all these tools, all these hooks because we just want people to know about Jesus.
That's true.
The thing about why I really know deep in my heart why as a kid I loved Easter so much is because that was the day that represented the truth of the gospel that Jesus died and rose for our sins, and that was the day we got to celebrate it. And it really and truly had no other reason than that reason. Like Christmas gets a little bit tangled with all the things of
we're more focused on the gifts and the activities than we are the birth. But Easter is so Jesus
focused and the eggs are just a little thing on the side. But the truth is that day we are literally saying, thank you, Jesus, that you came and died for us, loved us enough, and that you rose again. And so now we get to be in heaven with you. And so for that day, it's so celebratory and fun, and the whole heart of why we exist and why we make a church. As silly and as difficult as some of the things are sometimes, the whole reason why we do it is so that more people will know that same truth.
Because I think that as Christians, that's what we are. We're about Jesus. We're Jesus people. Jesus forever, right?
Yeah.
That we should go to great lengths to tell people about God's love.
That's right.
Great lengths.
Yeah.
And so buying bunnies in Maypearl is great lengths.
Yep.
Getting a Jeep wrapped yellow, great lengths. Passing out cookies at Christmas with a lady in a Miss
Santa
Claus,
suit, yeah.
Great lengths.
Yeah.
But what I think we have to ask ourselves personally
Come on.
is what are we doing to tell people about Jesus?
Right.
Personally. Are we taking great lengths?
Yeah.
Or are we just relying upon the church to take great lengths? Because, you know what we're going to do? We're going to advertise it. We're going to have a literal bright yellow Jeep and banner drive around for 2 weeks, passing out stuff. We got social media videos. But do you know what really is going to get people to come? Not any of that junk.
You're right.
That junk is a support to a personal invite. Is if people that call themselves Christians would actually invite people, go to great lengths to invite people into God's house, then they'll come.
Yeah.
Word of mouth is more powerful than any other advertisement.
No, it's true.
We just had Rachel's birthday party, and we had somebody suggest to us to go to an Italian restaurant that I never heard of in the middle of nowhere, and we went. You know why? Off of the word of somebody else.
Yep.
Not,
we could have gone
not
on Yelp. Right. We could have gone on Yelp.
Not Yelp.
We could have Googled it. We could have tried some things. But the truth was, today we were going to Burleson, which is a city attached to near Arlington.
Yeah.
And I put on there, hey, guys, where should we go to lunch? And you know what? Based on the responses, and then a couple of the places were closed, I was like, oh, this person and me, we kind of like the same type of food. I bet we'll like going to the same type of restaurant.
Yes.
And the same thing is true for the people that are closest in our life. Hey, oh, you like that church? Well, you and I think a lot alike. Oh, you and I have a lot in common.
Yeah.
I bet I would like that same type of church. I bet if you're having fun at this experience, I might have fun at this experience too. And the power of the personal invite, we do not fully realize, I think. We do not fully understand how much reach and power and influence we can have in just saying to somebody, hey, you want to go to Easter with me? You want to go to my church? Like, people are looking for a place on Easter because it is one of those holidays that are based around religion, Jesus. People think, yeah, I'll go try going to church that day. Why not? And what a great opportunity to invite somebody you never know that it might be their day that changes their whole life.
Yeah. Why do you think people don't do the personal invite? Why do you think that a believer will come to church 40 Sundays of the year?
Right.
Will serve, will give money.
Yeah.
Will raise their hands and sing a song to an invisible God. Why do we do all of that but not invite somebody?
Because we think that's awkward.
Okay.
And because they don't want to put their beliefs on somebody else. We have this very weird culture in society nowadays, for sure, that it's like, well, that's your truth and this is my truth and this is what I believe. And so we have this fear, this irrational, I believe, fear that if we just invite them, that what we're trying to do is get them to believe like us. No, we're just inviting them, that we're just giving them an opportunity. But I think people think that, the phrase I hear the most is that it's awkward, that it's intrusive, that it's all these negative words that if we really realized, no, people are looking, they're hungry. That's the biggest one, I think. What else? And I think they're afraid. Your brain is tickering.
It is. Well, I feel for that, but I'm also, if you put it into the proper scale of the weight of not telling somebody about Jesus, then it feels like that insecurity should go away. For example, I would be kind of embarrassed to scream at the top of my lungs in public.
Right.
But if I'm out standing by a swimming pool
Yep.
and a kid falls in and they're going to drown,
Right.
I have no problem screaming at the top of my lungs, this kid, somebody jump in and save this kid. Or you know what? I might be a little embarrassed if I have to take my shirt off in public. But if a kid falls in the pool, I'm going to jump in the pool with my shoes on and my cell phone in my pocket to save this kid's life, because the consequence of not doing it is so high
Well,
that I think that we don't realize the weight of just letting people drown in life.
Well, and is it not that we don't recognize the weight of it, but maybe that we don't even recognize the need? We've said yes to Jesus. We've asked Jesus in our heart. So now hell is no longer a factor that we consider any longer in our daily life. And then we just get so myopic in our own world and our own struggle and our own thing that we forget what we've been saved from.
Yeah.
And how we're just doing our thing.
Yeah.
And how if they don't know, I think all of those things.
But it's that like extreme death, hell, and bad punishment. But it's also like, let me think. If that restaurant we went to today was doing a free dinner, like, hey guys, tonight anybody who comes gets a free steak.
Yep.
Do you know what we would do?
Text everybody.
We would text a dozen of our friends.
Yeah.
And say, guys, this restaurant tonight only is giving out free steaks. Hey, listen, you got to come. You want me to sign you up? Let me sign you up right now. Why? Because we're trying to give something good away. So for me, when people have the it's awkward, I'm insecure, my brain does like, because like on one hand, there's someone drowning and dying. But then the other hand, God's giving away peace.
Right.
and real joy and freedom from addiction.
Yep.
And God in life is blessing us with so much that it feels selfish to not call somebody.
You're 100%
like if
right.
I find out that I'm getting free steak, I'm not only taking Rach. I'm calling y'all.
Right.
I'm calling everybody. I'm calling a bunch of people because I don't want to just take the good for me. I want to give the good away. And I think that's the part that makes me a little confused and sad and have some holy anger
Yeah.
when churches are just sleeping giants. We assemble all these people together on Sundays and then we don't reach anybody.
No.
I'm not saying we more church. I'm saying the collective.
Big C collective.
Big
yeah.
C church.
No, I think you're 100% right. And the urgency and I mean, what you said is so good. If you really knew, well, the fact of the matter is we do know, and then we do believe. And so I think that is it. I don't know, man. I think it's just one of those things that people don't realize. Also, they don't realize that they're the ones that have the ability, that they have the pull, that they have the relational equity, that they have the connection. I think they think someone else will show up. And I think that's it's someone else's job. It's someone else's responsibility. What?
Do you think that people don't talk about Jesus, invite people to church because we as pastors, not just we at More Church, collectively, at all churches, that we're doing a bad job at discipling them how to lead someone to the Lord? Like, have we created a weird culture that
probably.
the only way someone can get saved is to show up and hope the pastor does 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, probably.
Because like that's something I'm wrestling with. Like, do we need to teach the church Romans Road?
Yeah.
Like, do we need to teach the church like how if you meet somebody that you can lead them to the Lord? Like,
I think
beyond just
I think
like,
you would
hey,
be
come to
surprised how
church.
many people, if you said that, what you just said, Romans Road, are like, what does that mean?
Right. Yeah. You know
And
how
because of that, yeah.
in the book of Acts, you know, it talk multiple times. It says the church added to their number daily those who were being saved. You know why? Is because they didn't wait for a Sunday altar call.
Right.
They were engaging with their community and talking about what Jesus had done, and they were praying with each other. And so like salvation was not just a Sunday thing. And so I think what's happening, even for me as a man, not just as a pastor, I haven't led someone to the Lord one-on-one in 10 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I have first-time guests that show up to church all the time.
Right.
I have people that come in and get saved because I invited them regularly.
Right.
But the conversation, the ability to get from just a conversation into that heavy of conversation, I think I could do it, but I think people are just overwhelmed or afraid or not educated. And so I'm like, how do we even do that? Is that a whole other sermon series, or is that like a discipleship class that is not a Sunday appropriate teaching?
I think
I don't know.
I think it could be a very simple Sunday teaching because it is simple.
It is simple.
And I think that's the part, is that we complicate it so much that we feel so intimidated that then people, it feels too intimidating. You said it in your message last week that we're afraid we won't know the right answer. We're afraid someone's going to ask us. I've had lots of people ask me all kind of questions that I'm like, oh, that's a difficult one. Oh yeah, even great scholars still wrestle that. I don't know. Like, we are afraid we're going to get in these like sticky situations or questions, and rather than just what is truth, oh my gosh, here's the story of Jesus. Here's who he is for me, what he did for me, changed my life. You can have the same thing when you apply it to a restaurant or a sale at the mall. Like, if Dillard's is having an extra 65 off, I'm gonna let some people know.
Right.
Like, you got to go. They got these great jeans on sale, whatever. But we get so. Yeah, we make it too complicated. We make it too hard. We make it...
Or we're afraid of the question.
too intimidating.
And I think for pastors, when you start to think about the ability to disciple someone so they could effectively lead someone to Jesus, and then you think of all the potential questions the unsaved person could have, you get overwhelmed.
Right. But if you knew that someone is dying right now,
right,
and they have not yet met Jesus, I'm going to
Yeah.
pray a prayer with you, even
Or-
if I'm not fully sure that it's fully
Yeah.
theologically exactly the way.
And not even deathbed, but if they're just not a skeptic, if they're not a
that too.
out of atheism, or
Right.
they're Buddhist or whatever,
Right.
out of some other because atheism is a belief system.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's that if the person you're talking to doesn't already have a grounded belief system, then what do they need to know? What do you need to know to communicate the gospel to them?
Right. Yeah.
Sorry. Sometimes what happens in Whitney's conversation is my gears start turning beyond the conversation.
No, it's important.
Thinking about future stuff that I need to teach in the church.
No, it's important. I think it's necessary, and I think if they could understand how simple it is. I mean, you and I we've had the conversation even recently for the church, the prayer we pray.
Yeah.
Even the verbiage associated with the conversation of giving the invitation, that we want to make sure it's clear and concise and simple. But I'm like, how simple is that to then just teach to the church?
Yeah,
Because
I used to pray a prayer and I didn't say in it, and now I'm turning away from my old ways. But I realized, man, in this prayer, they need to be praying, God, I'm going to turn from who I was and turn towards you.
Right.
I'm not going to be perfect, but there should be some lifestyle modification.
right.
There should be some behavioral change
Well, and again,
in my life
when
because
you
I'm
are
following God.
But it's also part of why it's so important to be plugged into local church, because if you have your local church that you're plugged into, then you go and you be a witness, even if you lead people to the Lord, and then you just say, come with me, come to church with me. I'm growing my relationship too. You don't have to have all the answers, but it's these of us who feel so like I must go evangelize to everyone, but they're not connected to a local church, that's where you get yourself in a little bit of trouble too. And so again, it goes hand in hand of be willing to share all the way the gospel, not just invite them, but then invite them, but then bring them, but then be a part of the local church and have easy hooks that you can get them plugged in, because that'll disciple you too. Yes. What thoughts?
I have so many thoughts. I don't even know where to go. We need to do a mission trip.
Well,
But what I wish we could do, I've joked about Flint Outreach, this outreach I would go on as a kid into downtown Flint, Michigan. But what it did is it created an avenue for people to be discipled, to be evangelistic. But it was because in Flint, there was this area that was in poverty.
Yeah.
And so there was like easy-ish ministry to go and do sidewalk Sunday school and give away food and clothes, and this like very hands-on ministry.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, maybe because people only learn something they're hungry for.
Right.
If you're not hungry for it, you don't care to learn about it.
No, you're right.
And so it's like, how do we get Christians into environments where they need to be? If we could take everybody from our church, put them on an airplane and fly them to Durban, South Africa, where we went to do some missions work, they would all be hungry to understand how to give a gospel presentation. But here in America, we're not hungry to do that in Arlington, Texas, because that's awkward.
Yeah. But I think there are some avenues. I mean, you got my brain thinking about some avenues of places. I mean, I know people in Oklahoma who come to Arlington, Texas every year with their youth groups for some outreaches that they are a part of for mission trips. So I'm like, oh, there's things we can do. And I think there's opportunity that we can find. But I also think it is such a simple thing that it can be, presented in a way on a Sunday to help people. But anyway, that's, I don't know. Sorry.
No, it's really good.
We started thinking it all the way through. Okay, go. What's more thoughts you have?
I don't know. What do we do?
Yeah,
Are we done, Julia? What do we do? Do we
no,
have to cut this?
Stop. It's not. No.
I got so in my head of like, oh man, this is a problem in the local church.
It is a problem. No, it is a problem. You're right. And I think, again, it's just like anything though. You got to start somewhere. So like for our church, we have invite cards that we pass out. These are rubber banded. I think there's 6 in this one. That you can take them with you and invite somebody near you. Invite somebody at your work, at the coffee shop, at the grocery store, in your neighborhood, whatever. And I think that that's just the best first start, because the thing about it is once you start doing it, it gets easier. It's just like anything.
Yeah.
It's a muscle that you build. And so we try to provide a lot of tools to help people be able to get over some of the awkwardness, get over some of the hurdles that make us feel like, oh, I don't know. And then also when you have this with you, it's a tangible reminder. I think that's the thing, is that like having these, when I have these in my bag with me, then I know, oh, I have these. I need to be on mission. I need to be intentional when I go somewhere, that I'm sharing what's good and what's true.
Yeah.
And
I've got them in my gym bag. And so every morning at the gym, I open up this one little pocket in my gym bag to put my keys in. And they're in that pocket with my keys. And so every morning I see these invite cards as I'm walking into the gym, and I give them away all the time because I'm aware that they're there. And so there's this like,
well, and to me, these are so disarming because they have all the information.
Yeah.
They have all the details and the data. Where do I go? What time is it at? What's the address? What's the location? It's got a QR code to go to the website. And I think that it's so helpful for, I mean, even as people who literally work here, to be able to have all the information on the ready. And we had some people that they got some cards and they ran out. They had only one left. And so they went to Office Depot and had more copies made personally for themselves and cut them out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were like, oh, it'll be till next Sunday that I get there. They underestimated how easy it would be. And I think so often we underestimate how easy it will be to give them away and to actually take it and to invite somebody.
Yeah.
And so they were just sharing this week. They were like, oh, I got to get more. We ran out last week. And one, I loved it. I loved that they took the initiative to go to Office Depot, make their own, but also they realized for them, when I have this in my hand, it's easy for me to invite somebody. And so if you are a person that wants to get better at inviting people, get an invite card. If you go to our church, we always have an invite card. Always.
Yeah.
We already have, or we still already have whatever, a bunch that are just generic that we have all the time. Right now we have Easter ones, but right now other times we have generic ones.
Well, I was about to ask you, I want to make sure that we have a bunch for the week after Easter.
We do, yeah.
We've restocked?
Yeah, I've already made sure. Yeah, because it's an easy thing to just have with us at all times that we can invite. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, I don't know.
You're now in a whole nother land.
I'm now in so many thoughts. Well, because these are good to just get somebody who's looking for a church.
Right.
But if you're looking for a church, you might already have some exposure to Jesus.
Yeah.
Or you might have already been to another church or whatever. But so there's like reaching the person who's already on a journey, but then there's reaching the person who's far from God. And those are very different.
For sure.
Things.
Yeah.
But I think what you're saying, the tools that the church provides is great. So we have the tool of having a service to invite somebody to.
Right.
We have the tool of the invite card. We have the tool of social media. I talked a little bit about just sharing out what the church is already producing. And I think that we've got to get better at that too.
Yeah. And we have the tool of, events and like life groups and places that, like, if you are feeling like I really want to invite somebody, but oh man, that feels whatever, just invite them to come along and hang out with you. I think again, we make it too complicated. We make it too difficult. We talked about it yesterday. Your wife, Rachel, is one of the greatest at inviting because she doesn't make it complicated and she doesn't make it awkward. She just tells them, this is who I am. Yeah. This is where I'm at. I can't wait to see you. We'd love to have you. And it's just join me. Just come and be a part. And man, what I love about our church is I know that if I invite anybody to show up, they're going to get a great experience. That everybody, when they walk in the door, is going to be kind to them. They're going to be treated well. And so when you know that about the place you are a part of, it's easy to just say, hey, come, be a part, do it. Yeah.
So, man, this has cost a bunch for me to chew on in my head about how we can disciple and what as a church we should do to help on-ramp people to be soul winners.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a difference between an inviter and a soul winner. But I think that if we're not even at the inviting stage, we're never going to get to the soul winning stage. Because right now we're at the sitter stage.
Right.
We're at the sit and receive.
Right.
We've got to move from sit and receive to just invite.
Yeah.
And then once we're at the inviting, we've got to be prepped to be a soul winner. Because you might invite somebody. Like there's this guy I've been inviting to the gym. And just on Thursday of last week, he said, hey, he's never came. He says, hey, Pastor, sorry, this might be kind of weird, but could you just pray for me?
Yeah.
I got my mom's sick. I got some stuff going on in life. Now, I don't even think this dude's a Christian.
Yeah.
But he let me, I prayed not long. I prayed 20-second prayer. I opened my eyes. The dude's crying.
Yeah.
Right. And so like sometimes as an inviter, you need to be ready to become a soul winner to pastor that person. But I think we're so afraid of this, we won't even do this.
Right. I think that's where the awkward, the tension, the intimidation comes from. Because, you know, the truth is when I worked in cosmetics, I prayed with people all the time.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a pastor to be able to pray with people.
Yeah.
But they knew like, oh, this lady loves Jesus. She prays. It started with me simply hearing about people be sharing their drama all the time and just saying, hey, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you. But then I got convicted of, why am I going to say I'm going to pray for you? Why don't I just pray for you right now? And what's true is that once people find out that you are a person who does pray, then they will come to you all the time for prayer. And I think that is what I learned. And there was one situation where a lady was struggling and I just said, hey, is it okay if I pray with you real quick? And I think we also get nervous in the corporate world that like we're going to get in trouble. But like if you're asking them and they say yes, then actually you can't get in trouble because you asked and they said yes. So it's not a big deal.
I mean, as long as you don't have a 30-minute prayer session while you're supposed to be in a meeting or something.
And so I prayed with her. And what's crazy was over the next 3 months, all kind of people came to me like, hey, I know that you pray. I heard that you pray. Hey, you prayed for so-and-so. Would you pray for me? Or, hey, I wanted to ask you. And that can feel intimidating, but the truth is they just want someone to care. They
know, I think that innately we know that there's a God.
Right.
Human beings know that there's something beyond silly us.
Yeah.
And so they want to connect to that. They want to tap into that. And so they just need somebody to pray for them.
Yeah. And so I think that is the encouragement of this week is simply just, hey, if you've been a sitter, go invite.
Yeah.
And if you've been inviting for a while, then
if you're not afraid to invite,
then take it to the next step. Offer to pray for people. Ask them if they know Jesus. Be willing to take the next steps and see what God does. Yeah.
I love it.
You've got a few more days until Easter.
Sorry,
so,
I know I got real quiet.
It's
just I'm trying to not write a sermon in my head for how to teach people to become soul winners.
Yeah.
I'll do it later.
Yeah, you'll have to do it later.
I have cameras
can't
on.
do it right now.
I have lights shining at me. I should probably keep talking on the podcast.
You have a few more days till Easter.
Yeah.
You're going to get your shoes. You're going to get your dress. You're going to get your Easter basket. But who are you going to get to come with you to church? And so just go invite some people.
This is not only for more church people. We got people watching on the Tug team and listening from all over the place.
Yeah.
Whatever church you're connected to, invite somebody to go.
Yeah.
Even if it's not that great.
Yeah, that's true. Even if you're not sure if they're going to be friendly, you'll be there. You'll be friendly.
And you know what? The Holy Spirit goes to every church.
That's true.
So like, listen, you might not think that your thing is the greatest thing ever. Listen, God's going to be there. If God's showing up, he's going to do what he does.
That's super good.
That's incredible.
Love you guys.
Wow. What else? I need to
know.
buy some Easter pants.
You got to get pants?
Yeah, I got my Easter shirt.
Now you got to get some pants?
Yeah, I don't know what to wear. I'm wearing a white shirt. I don't know if I should wear some white pants.
Nope.
Yeah, but what color pants do I wear?
Look at her face. No.
Don't wear white pants with a white shirt.
Tan, khaki.
I know, but when I wear khaki pants, I feel like I work at Best Buy.
It sounds like just a personal prejudice that you have against khaki pants.
Yeah.
Then get some green pants. Then get some blue pants.
Okay.
Like a pastel, like a light color, like a... Or black. Or kids wear black.
I know. I just would wear black pants every week of my whole life.
Yeah, because you won't wear khaki. I'm just kidding.
All right. You will see me at Express this week
There
looking
you
at
go.
khaki pants.
See me at Express, y'all.
All right. Love you guys.
All right. Love
We
y'all.
didn't do our normal intro. Tug of War, conversation between two friends.
That's right.
Where you are, where you want to be. That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. Love y'all.
See ya.